Welcome into another edition of Outside the SEC with LT. I'm Lance Taylor from lanceslock.com and the Jocks Roundtable, and every week we take you around to the biggest games outside of the Southeastern Conference. Not only will we break these games down, we will also try and give you winners against the spread in Las Vegas. Great games out there this weekend. We're going to mix it up. We'll actually have to dive into one huge game in the SEC, but as always, we will try and give you that elusive 3-0 as well. We start first in the Big Ten as we have an early 11 a.m. matchup between two undefeateds as Penn State heads in to take on a Minnesota team that hasn't been 8-0 since 1941. Believe it or not, that was the same year they won a national championship. This is actually only the second matchup between two 8-0 or better Big Ten teams over the last 60 years. This Penn State defense has been dominant, only allowing less than 2 yards per rush and 68 total rush yards per game. And this has been the difference in close wins over both Iowa and Michigan. Although the Golden Gophers don't have a signature win per se in 2019, in the month of October, they have been crushing teams by an average of over 31 points per game. PJ Fleck and his new contract extension, he's got his team playing mistake-free football with a ton of confidence, and I'm getting almost a touchdown in this spot. Give me the home dog plus the 6.5. Next, we stay in the Big Ten for our next matchup, a 3 p.m. tilt between number 18 Iowa and number 16 Wisconsin. It's amazing how fast the Badgers have slipped following their upset loss to Illinois 3 weeks ago. The Hawkeyes also lost back-to-back matchups last month against Michigan and Penn State, but they have bounced back nicely in wins versus Purdue and Northwestern, including a shutout in Evanston just 2 weeks ago. This will be a tough defensive battle, but Iowa has dropped 3 straight and 6 of their last 7 to Wisconsin. I think Jonathan Taylor bounces back with a huge game. Give me the Badgers minus the 9. And finally, another game of the century rolls into Tuscaloosa as number 2 Alabama plays host to number 1 LSU. So much is being made over last year's Heisman runner-up Tua Tagovailoa and his ankle that required a procedure just 2 weeks ago. But it seems, although he is listed as day-to-day, he's going to be ready to roll. On the other side, quarterback Joe Burrow is having a monster season out of nowhere, completing a ridiculous 79% of his passes, 30 touchdowns, only 4 picks. Alabama's won 8 straight in this series, and over that span, LSU is averaging just 9 points per game. That will change. The Tigers will score some points with this dynamic offense, but the end result will stay the same. I like the Tide minus the 6.5 points. To recap, we've got Minnesota plus 6.5, Wisconsin minus the 9, and finally, Alabama minus the 6.5. 3 home teams and hopefully a 3-0. Good luck, have a great weekend, and please check us out, lanceslock.com, and weekdays on the Jocks Roundtable from 6 to 10. I'm Lance Taylor, and this has been Outside the SEC with LT.